I'm talking about roots. I can't hate.
What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a fantastic day. We are the Info Junkies. I am your host, Steve. My co-host, Quan.
What's going on?
And this is Sports Talk, where we talk about all things sports. And let's just jump right into it. The story we're talking about today is several NFL owners are saying they're going to follow Jerry Jones' lead and force their players to stand for the national anthem. Why this is still a story, I don't know. But hey, since it is, we'll talk about it.
Well, at least they're going in a positive direction, where their NFL, certain owners are picking a side instead of just being indecisive and just continuing to let the players just do whatever they want. I'm kind of for this type of movement because, again, we've been preaching this for a while now. If you watch the previous videos, the NFL needs to pick a side and just stand on it. Either they're going to let the players continue to be on the field and let them stand, or they just don't be on the field at all. So I'm glad that Jerry Jones is, forcing his players to stand because it eliminates the confusion. It'll be no more confusion about what their stance is.
I mean, ultimately, you can't get mad at Jerry Jones because, once again, Jerry Jones has an investment in each and every single player on the Dallas Cowboys. And if his investment is leading to him losing money, then, he has a right to make his, tell them, look, you have to do this because, ultimately, this is about viewership. This is about fanship because without the fans, you have no money. Without the fans, you're not selling concessions. You're not selling jerseys. You're not selling seats. You're not viewing games. You're not doing any of that.
And if you know Jerry Jones, he is strictly about the bottom line.
Yeah, I mean,
he's a businessman first.
And he is the NFL. So I mean, if he sets a precedence in the NFL, it's going to be set.
And you're gonna see soon other owners follow suit.
Oh yeah.
You're going to see other owners start to pick a stance. Now, I don't know if it's going to be the same stance, as in, okay, all my players are going to be standing during the anthem, or it might be, okay, we're going to be in the locker room.
Right.
Like Mike Tomlin did.
Right.
I'm all for either or. Just pick one.
Right, pick one and stick to it.
Don't be part of the protest and kneel, because then you're just amplifying the issue.
Yeah.
And we've been preaching this for a while. So I'm glad that Jerry Jones picked this, this stance. I'm all for it. Just eliminate the politics from this game.
Yeah.
So the game can move on.
And you had already lost the political conversation anyway. We were talking about this before the show. And Stephen A. Smith made a comment about the players. And he basically told the players you need to find another way of protest because Trump has essentially won the culture war in this particular arena. He successfully branded anyone taking a knee as unpatriotic. Whether or not you believe they're patriotic doesn't matter. What matters is how he branded you. So you're not going to beat Trump with the marketing angle. I mean, Trump's whole thing is marketing. I mean, from his real estate to whatever it is he got into, his whole deal is marketing. That's why he's president. We were like I said, we were talking about this before, and one of the reason why I think the players lost this argument is because they lost the original reason why the protest was quote unquote started. The original protest was about police brutality, equality, etc., etc. When you turned it to Trump, you lost your footing for the whole argument because now you've made disrespecting this tradition about a man who happens to be the president. And the vast majority of America is not going to cut. That's not going to cut it. I mean, when you focused it on an obscure thing of police brutality, okay, well, is there a level of police brutality? Sure, there is. Are there police officers that abuse their rights? Sure, there are. We all have experienced officers who abuse their rights. All Americans, a lot of Americans have experienced police officers who abuse their power.
Right.
So when you make it about that, see, most Americans don't like that, but see, they're still more likely to give you a pass because, that's something we can all kind of, understand. Even if we don't all buy the police officers being racist thing, we can all buy, hey, there are some officers who need to calm down and not abuse their power.
But even the narrative, like you said, the narrative went from that to Donald Trump.
Exactly.
And you completely forget the main motivation in the whole protest anyway. Like, even myself, I forgot that the original purpose of all this was for the police brutality and, equality and all that stuff. And it's just crazy that, again, Trumps keep getting everybody triggered.
Yeah. He baited him well. He did. This is another thing we were talking about. It's like what Trump loves to do, and it's genius. Trump will say something. He'll say something. I think he makes sure it's as wild and as crazy and as insane as he could possibly say. And he'll just throw it out there, knowing that people will bite. And then once they bite, they go insane. Even
during the SOB, when you made that SOB comment with all the, with the players and all that stuff, he even said it, that he knows that people, I'm paraphrasing, but he knows that people are going to take what he says and instantly get triggered. Mm-hmm. And he used that to his advantage. It's working. You can't argue everything he says. He's manipulating a lot of people, and people are just baiting for it every time. Every time he says stuff, they instantly get to level 10 and they're reacting based on what he says. And Trump's just sitting back like, hey, you guys are idiots, pretty much. And if the American people keeps going down this road, Trump's going to win again.
Oh, yeah. He's
going to win again, and the Hillary fans will continue to get
butthurt and more butthurt.
Right.
And it's something Ben Shapiro, who's a I think he's a senior editor for Daily Wire. He has his own podcast. He has the leading conservative podcast in America right now. He was on CNN and he was talking to Don Lemon. And they were talking about this, and he told Don Lemon, he's like, look, why do you guys keep getting so upset when Trump says stuff? He's like, if you want to beat Trump, be calm. When Trump says something, just calmly, factually break down exactly why what he's saying is wrong. But they can't help it. They have to just blow everything up. They can't help it.
And it all stems from the election.
Right. I mean, all this stems from the election. Butthurt Hillary fans in the media, in entertainment, in wherever, they can't accept the egos. They just cannot accept that Trump won. I mean, so then they just keep reacting and overreacting to what Trump says. And it's like, that's not the way you're going to beat him, because clearly he fed off of that. I mean, you threw dirt after dirt after dirt at him during the election.
Yeah, he won.
Right. I mean, even when you get the entertainment, that conversation, that comment he made to Billy Bush about, grabbing women by their private parts, he still won in spite of that. I mean, he has proven, if you call him a racist, if you call him a sexist, no matter what you call him, it's not going to work. So the only other way to beat him is to now go the opposite realm and be calm.
But not everybody's doing that. Everybody is still taking the same approach they've been taking since they lost the election. It's just, like you said, overreacting. Everything he says, they instantly get triggered. You're not going to beat this man this way. At this rate, he will be elected again. If he decides to run in 2020, he will win the election.
Right. Because he's a master of the chaos. He's a master of that. He's shown he's a master of chaotic quotes and frenzy.
Like,
and keep making it about this. And it's like for instance, like we said, when the players turned the protest, when you turned it away from where it was towards him, which is what I think he wanted to do, is to deflect it towards him, because he knows if he deflects it on him, he can win it. If the fury is being thrown at him, he can win that. He has that down. Right. He already has that to a science of how to beat you doing that. So it's just like, why would you feed into his frenzy? And like LeBron James and all, you keep making these comments like LeBron James saying people who voted for Trump were ignorant. Michelle Obama saying women who voted for Trump don't care about their voice. People saying, talking about Trump making the comment of the SOB comment. I personally don't think the comment was good.
And then you got Hillary.
But it doesn't matter.
And then you got Hillary, tweeting out little stuff here and there that's still lingering around.
Right. I mean, she's saying that, Trump is only coming at the black players because they're black. I mean, once again, you're feeding the frenzy that is Trump sanity. I mean,
this man has completely got everybody just going crazy, and it makes no sense. It makes no sense. So that's why even what was the reporter name you said from ESPN?
Oh, Jemele Hill.
Yeah, she got suspended.
She got suspended because she made a comment, and this what she said was stupid. She made a comment essentially calling for her followers, her fandom, to boycott NFL advertisers. And it's like, hello, how much revenue do you all make off of the NFL.
So you're biting the hand that feeds you.
Right. You're trying to hurt yourself.
ESPN writes the checks for you.
Right.
Why would you go against the company that's writing your checks, that's paying your bills? That's
like if I go to people who want to give my job a contract, and I say no, boycott them, boycott. I'm hurting my own self trying to hurt the company I work for. What kind of stupidity is that?
Again, just stems from Trump. She reacted based on what Trump said, and yet here, look at her career now. She's suspended. Mm-hmm. She's at home watching ESPN instead of being on ESPN. And all this stems from whether it's her, whether it's the NFL, people in the NFL doing a protest, whether it's people in the NBA. You're going to see NBA players kind of doing the same thing.
And see, the difference between the NBA and the NFL is the NBA has it as a rule.
You have
to stand.
Yeah, you have to stand.
They made a man in the 90s, a Muslim man in the 90s, stand when he tried to take a knee or tried to do something in protest of the national anthem. No, they made him stand. He was suspended for a game because he did not stand. So it's like, no, there's a rule. So over there, you can play it if you want to. But here's the thing people don't realize. Yes, you're a great athlete. You're somebody who is quote unquote irreplaceable. But there are other people who want to be where you are, and that's why I think these guys, their $1 million checks and all this publicity, this fame, the arrogance. You don't realize there's always somebody else who can play just as hard for less money.
That's true.
And owners one of these days are going to realize this. Like, look, I can go to a bunch of undrafted guys and say, hey, look, I'm gonna sign you. I need you to play with heart. And they'll come in and play with heart, and they don't care about standing or sitting for some anthem. They don't care about making a political statement. They don't care about protests. They don't care about any of that. They care about making that money and trying to make something of themselves in the league.
It's all about being hungry.
Yeah. So I mean, somebody somewhere is hungrier than you are.
Yeah. You get complacent, you'll find yourself short at the end of the day.
Yeah. So I mean, you need to stop trying to be this political activist. Jim Brown. If anybody doesn't, if you don't know who Jim Brown is, please go look him up. He's one of the greatest football players of all time. Jim Brown, who also was a political activist, told Kaepernick, he's like, look, you got to make up your mind what you want to be. You're either a football player or an activist. You can't be both. Jim Brown left the NFL, early and went into activism, went into acting. He started his activism stuff, but he left the NFL. He knew that he can't do both at the same time because when you're playing football, it's not about you. It's about your team.
And a lot of people fail to realize that simple point.
Right.
It's not about you. And, again, whether it's the NFL, whether it's the NBA, or any other professional sports, that's why I'm glad that, again, Jerry Jones took the stance that he did because it's pushing the narrative forward in a positive direction.
Right.
Rather than staying in this level that we've been at for weeks now, where everybody just taking a knee. I'm just glad that this stuff is, it's still lingering on. It might linger on for a little bit, but it's moving on in the right direction.
Yeah.
By this, and especially because Jerry Jones being Jerry Jones, you're going to see other owners follow suit, and before you know it, the narrative is going to be switched back to Trump.
Right.
Because the NFL is going to push this narrative. Okay, now it's your turn. What you going to do now? Because Trump had made everybody look silly. He makes the NFL look crazy.
He's dominated the narrative.
So the NFL is kind of slowly but surely pushing the narrative in the right direction. See how it goes. And like I said, the faster they get positives out of football,
the faster their numbers are going to go back up. They have high unfavorables. They have low viewer ratings. They're already having talks of having to have this fight with the players' union in the coming years. You need to get the NFL back on track, and this is the start of getting the NFL back on track.
I'm talking about roots.